All right, get ready, because today we're diving into a world of magical mishaps.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
It is. It's those moments where spells backfire, wands malfunction. Basically, anytime things go hilariously wrong with magic in the Harry Potter universe.
Yeah, like the stuff that makes you laugh, but also makes you glad you're not a wizard.
Exactly. And to really get into it, we've got a super detailed listicle from Cinema Blend with, like, tons of examples.
Oh, nice. I love those.
Yeah.
It's right to the point.
Yeah, and then we've got a blog post that goes deeper, trying to explain the why behind these mishaps.
So we're not just listing them out, we're actually trying to understand them.
Exactly. And then to add even more flavor, we've got a bunch of comments from fans, giving their own thoughts and theories.
Oh, the fans always have the best insight.
Right. So basically, today's mission is to uncover why magic is so tricky.
And maybe even bust some myths about those always perfect wizards.
Absolutely. So to kick things off, let's talk about Voldemort.
Oh, the Dark Lord himself. What'd he mess up this time?
Well, we all know how his killing curse backfired on baby Harry, right?
Yeah, that whole love shield thing, right? Powerful stuff.
But what's crazy is how that actually created a Horcrux binding Voldemort to Harry.
So he kind of cursed himself trying to curse Harry.
Right. Talk about unintended consequences.
It's like, even with the darkest magic, there's this element of unpredictability.
Yeah, and it emphasizes the idea that love is a powerful counterforce, something Voldemort clearly never grasped.
And that lack of understanding ultimately led to his downfall.
But it's not just Voldemort who underestimates the power of love, right?
Oh, you're thinking about Dumbledore.
Yeah, with the Resurrection Stone. He was so desperate to see his family again that he forgot basic precautions.
Ah, the allure of powerful magic. Even the wisest can fall prey to it.
And that mistake cost him dearly.
It's a good reminder that no matter how skilled you are, powerful magic can be dangerous.
Especially when emotions are involved.
Speaking of not being skilled, let's move on to Hogwarts.
Oh yeah, the student mishaps. Those were always my favorite.
They're so relatable. Like, we've all been there trying to learn something new and messing it up completely.
Remember Seamus Finnegan, the king of explosions.
Oh, Seamus. He couldn't even turn water into rum without setting something on fire.
He really struggled with those spells, from levitation charms to potions,
Yeah.
always causing some kind of chaos.
And it really highlights that magic isn't just about waving a wand and saying words.
There's precision, there's understanding, there's control.
And Seamus lacked control, which led to those, well, explosive results.
Yeah, like when Ron accidentally hit himself with that eat slug spell.
Oh, classic Ron. And let's not forget his broken wand played a part in that, right?
That's right. The tool itself matters. A damaged wand can mess with the flow of magic.
And sometimes it's not even a botched spell that causes trouble, but accidental magic.
Harry was a pro at that, especially when his emotions were running high.
Like when he blew up Aunt Marge.
The classic. It makes you wonder if there's a link between emotional intensity and magical power.
It does. And it seems younger wizards are more prone to this kind of accidental magic.
So maybe those early mishaps are a necessary part of learning control.
Learning to control your emotions, to control your magic.
What happens when experienced wizards make blunders?
You'd think they'd know better, right? But experience doesn't guarantee success.
Take Lockhart, for example.
Yeah.
He was all talk and no talent, constantly causing more problems than he solved.
Oh, Lockhart. Unleashing pixies, messing with Harry's bones. He was a walking disaster zone.
But even his mishaps pale in comparison to Voldemort's mistake with Harry's blood in that resurrection ritual.
Yes. Voldemort, in his arrogance, completely overlooked the deeper consequences.
And that choice ultimately led to his downfall.
It seems the bigger the ego, the bigger the potential for a magical mishap.
It really drives home the point that magic isn't easily controlled.
Not even someone like Snape, a master of occlumency, was immune to Harry's accidental legilimency.
Wait, occlumency.
Shielding your mind, basically,
Right.
like mental defense.
Right. So even with advanced magic, there can be unintended consequences. Defenses can be broken.
Exactly. And then there's the whole other level of unpredictability with magical objects and spells themselves.
So we're talking enchanted objects with minds of their own, potions with crazy side effects, and spells that could backfire in like spectacular ways.
Exactly. And those really make you wonder, is magic something to be feared as much as admired?
It's a great question, and we've got some amazing examples to unpack, so let's dive in.
Okay, so first up, we've got the Weasley's Enchanted Car.
Oh, the Ford Anglia. Talk about a car with a mind of its own.
It was more than just transportation, right? It was practically a character in the story.
Yeah. Remember when it went rogue? Took Ron and Harry on that wild ride to Hogwarts?
Crashing into the Whomping Willow, getting lost in the Forbidden Forest.
You wouldn't think a car could cause that much mayhem.
It's a good reminder that enchanted objects, even everyday things, can be super unpredictable.
And their magic can react to, like, everything. People around them, other magic.
It's like they have their own personalities, their own quirks.
Okay, so enchanted objects can be wild, but what about those dark artifacts?
Oh yeah, like that cursed necklace Katie Bell touched.
That was scary. Just brushing against it almost killed her.
It shows how dangerous dark magic can be, especially when it's attached to an object.
It's like a trap waiting to be sprung. You never know what could be cursed.
You gotta be careful with those mysterious magical artifacts.
And while we're talking about dangerous magic, we can't forget love potions.
Ah, yes. The recipe for disaster. Remember what happened to Ron?
Poor guy. Accidentally got dosed with a love potion meant for Harry.
Romilda Vane's little scheme really backfired.
It shows how messing with love and emotions can lead to some serious consequences.
Especially with something as powerful as a love potion.
Like, some things are better left to natural forces, right?
Definitely. But sometimes even simple magical tasks can go horribly wrong.
Oh, are you talking about apparition?
Yeah, remember when Ron got flinched? That's gotta be one of the most terrifying magical mishaps.
Imagine just leaving a part of yourself behind.
It's a good reminder of how important precision is in magic. Even a tiny mistake can have huge consequences.
Like trying to teleport but leaving your leg behind.
Exactly. It just goes to show, even when you've mastered a skill, you can't let your guard down with magic.
So, looking at all these mishaps, what do they tell us about magic in the Harry Potter world?
They really challenge this idea that magic is a simple tool that wizards have complete control over.
So it's more than just spells and wands.
It seems like magic has its own agency, its own rules, and it's influenced by everything.
Emotions, intentions, even the objects used.
Exactly. It's more like a living thing than a set of instructions.
So it's not just about learning spells, it's about learning to work with this force.
And understanding that it can be unpredictable and dangerous.
Which makes all those mishaps so much more interesting, right?
They become these windows into the deeper workings of magic. They show us its limits and its power.
And they remind us that wizards aren't these all-knowing, invincible beings.
They're fallible, they make mistakes, just like us.
Which makes them more relatable.
Exactly. And their struggles with magic highlight a universal truth about power and control.
Something that applies to everyone, even if we're not wielding wands.
We all have our own magic to manage, our own challenges to overcome.
So even though we don't live in a world of spells and potions, these magical mishaps still have a lot to teach us.
They offer this amazing glimpse into the complexities of power, control, and the consequences of our choices.
And they remind us that no matter how skilled we become, things can still go wrong.
Yeah. Like even with magic, there's that element of surprise, you know?
Right. It's not always going to go as planned. And maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, if everything was predictable, where's the fun in that?
It's those unexpected moments that make magic so fascinating and honestly a little bit scary.
Totally. And thinking back on all the mishaps we talked about,
Makes you realize that magic is this constant learning process.
no matter how much you know, there's always something new to discover, or some new way to mess things up, right?
Exactly. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the big takeaway for our listeners?
I think it's that magic in all its forms is this powerful force, but it's also a reflection of us.
What do you mean?
Well, our intentions, our emotions, they all play a part. It's not just about the spells and the wands.
So basically magic is more than just a tool. It's connected to who we are.
Exactly. And that means we have a responsibility to use it wisely and to be prepared for the unexpected.
Because even with the best intentions, things can go wrong.
Absolutely. And those mishaps, they can teach us some valuable lessons about ourselves, about power, about control.
Yeah, it's like those magical mishaps are a reminder that we're all human.
Even wizards.
Right, even wizards. So embrace that wonder, respect the power, and don't be afraid to make a few mistakes along the way.
Because sometimes it's those mistakes that lead to the greatest discoveries.
Beautifully put. And that's a wrap on this deep dive into magical mishaps.
Thanks for joining us as we explored the unpredictable side of the Harry Potter universe.
Until next time, keep those wands at the ready.
And may your spells always have the intended effect. Mostly.
Mostly.